Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more.
Welcome to another episode of Action Video Game Talk. I'm your host, Scott Action Jackson. Thanks for joining me today, or tonight, or whenever you're watching or listening to this episode. I have a list of news articles to go through, so let's hop right into it. Disney Infinity 3.0 has been officially revealed, with the Star Wars Avengers Age of Ultron themed game gracing the cover of this month's Game Informer. Star Wars' Disney Infinity set will launch for $65 this fall on PC, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, Wii U, and on mobile, on iOS and Android, and will also feature Avengers Age of Ultron characters. This fall, a Force Awakens set will arrive for Infinity. Devil May Cry developer Ninja Theory is working on lightsaber combat for Disney Infinity 3.0, which stars Jedi and Sith such as Yoda, Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Sleeping Dogs developer United Front is handling the Age of Ultron themed stuff, including Ultron, Iron Man, and the Hulkbuster. When flying the Millennium Falcon, the credit for improved vehicle features go to Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing developer Sumo Digital. Original trilogy characters such as Princess Leia, Chewbacca, and Han Solo join prequel trilogy icons like General Grievous and Darth Maul. The debut set for Disney Infinity 3.0 is called Twilight of the Republic, which, according to Game Informer, follows Anakin and Ahsoka as they fight to uncover who's behind a freshly minted droid army in a story set after Attack of the Clones. In the Rise Against the Empire set, Luke and Leia tangle with Darth Vader and his forces through memorable sequences, including the Battle of Yavin as well as time on Hoth and Tatooine. For a long while, we've been hearing that one of these Disney Infinities was going to be covering Star Wars, and there was a few leaks of a Disney Infinity 3.0. So now it's official. Disney Infinity 3.0 is coming out, and it's going to focus on the Star Wars Avengers Age of Ultron stuff. The price isn't that bad. It's going to be $65, which is cheaper compared to the previous ones. And this is going to cover original trilogy Star Wars stuff. It's going to cover the prequel stuff, the Clone Wars. It's going to have lightsaber battles, and it's going to have some Millennium Falcon flying too. So that last thing right there is probably a lot more stuff than the Star Wars Battlefront's going to have, since they're not going to be doing any actual space flight stuff. Yeah, there's a few figures listed here. Original trilogy characters, Princess Leia, Chewbacca, Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, and of course we got Darth Vader, Yoda. I think the Yoda on here is going to be from the prequel time, not the original trilogy time, but the prequel, the prequel stuff, we're going to have Obi-Wan, we're going to have General Grievous, Darth Maul, Anakin Skywalker. There's probably going to be additional Star Wars figures. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some Clone War figures that you'll be able to get a hold of too. And then the Marvel side for the Age of Ultron stuff, you're going to have Ultron, I guess a newer Iron Man. I don't know, maybe we might get lucky and be able to use the same Iron Man we had from the 2.0. There's going to be a Hulkbuster, I guess Hulkbuster Iron Man type, maybe. But if we're lucky, we'll probably have some additional superheroes too, so I'm hoping that some of the superheroes can be brought and carried over. I know previously with the 2.0, a lot of the figures would work with the 2.0 edition, but only in the toy box mode, which I hope isn't entirely the case here. Hope is the key word, but knowing them, they'll probably just be like, oh yeah, every other, the 2.0, the 1.0 is going to be toy box mode only, which is kind of bullshit. it's good that you can use it in there, but I would like to use, some of the Marvel figures during the Age of Ultron stuff. Nintendo and Universal Parks and Resort are partnering to develop dedicated theme park attractions based on Nintendo games, characters, and worlds at Universal Theme Parks, the company announced. Now, for the first time, those stories and characters will be brought to life in entirely new ways, only at Universal Theme Parks, the announcement reads. The immersive experiences will include major attractions at Universal's theme parks and will feature Nintendo's most famous characters and games. Details about the attractions were sparse in the announcement, but more information will be shared as the company's creative teams work to create specific concepts. Nintendo's new theme park endeavor is part of its strategy to expand the global reach of its characters and intellectual properties by moving into new business models. I'm not quite sure about this. I mean, Nintendo has obviously gone to the right people to try and do this as far as attractions and rides and whatever they're going to do. They went to Universal. They're one of the biggest theme parks around aside from Disney. And I don't know if Nintendo combining with Disney is exactly a good idea or bad idea. But I just, to me, thinking of any possible, I could see them doing this and it could be awesome in multiple ways, but I could also see it being really cheesy and really bad as well. And especially if you have like a huge costumed Goomba or a huge costumed Mario and Luigi. It's like this is a bit weird. It would be nice if they focus on they probably will focus on the major ones. They'll probably focus on the Mario, the Zelda. Those could be the major two that they could work on. People probably would go to see something like that. And maybe for rides they could do stuff like maybe a Mario Kart ride, or maybe Mario Kart bumper cars. There you go, Mario Kart bumper cars. But yeah, the possibilities they could do with the Nintendo franchises at a Universal theme park could be endless. Especially considering all the different games that they've made, with different characters. I just saw something that'd be funny. Imagine having a whole area that you walk by that looks like nothing but the actual background for the Mario Brothers games. You could have one section that could be from the first Super Mario Brothers, another section that's from the actual third Super Mario Brothers, and then a third one being from Super Mario World. Because I don't think that Universal theme parks would even try anything with this second Super Mario Brothers game. After the success of the remastered Resident Evil in January, Capcom is diving deeper into Definitive Edition waters. The company announced another Resident Evil title will be updated for current gen, last gen, and PC. Resident Evil 0 was introduced by producer Tatsuka Tankinaka and director Koji Ata, who received a ceremonial green herb from Resident Evil HD Remastered producer Yoshiaki Hirabatsai. The update to the Resident Evil origin story is coming to PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, Xbox One, Xbox 360, and PC in early 2016. The original version was previously only available on Nintendo platforms. Resident Evil 0 was released in November 2002 on GameCube and December 2009 on Wii. One thing that I kind of have a bad habit at and that is trying to pronounce some of the actual people's names on some of these news articles. So I'm sorry if I got the names wrong. I tried. Some of these names I couldn't quite pronounce right. Now, as far as them remastering Resident Evil 0, I would like to see that. But then again, when Resident Evil 0 first came out, it was a hell of a lot better graphic-wise as far as the very original Resident Evil game. So, technically this is kind of a remastering because as it says in the article, and as we all know, it was transferred over to the Wii. So, in that point, it did have a updated version. Now, considering we don't know if there's going to be any additional add-ons to it, like there was with the remastering of the Resident Evil game, like additional camera angles or anything like that, I'm guessing we could hear some more info on this later on. It wouldn't surprise me if we do hear some more info at E3. Now that I think about it, this does get us a little bit closer and a little more hopeful that they will actually make, or at least work on, a remastering for Resident Evil 2. Because that right there is a classic that a lot of people would like to see. Square Enix has announced a new time for its E3 media briefing, which was originally scheduled to take place at 9 a.m. Pacific Time on June 16th. The Japanese publisher has opted to delay the media briefing by 1 hour, a move that is undoubtedly in response to Nintendo's recent announcement that its digital event would be held at the very same time. As such, Square's media briefing will air Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, just before the expo hall opens for the first official day of E3. Ooh, the big bad Square Enix has to move its timing for its E3 stuff because of Nintendo. You know what? Considering the, bad track record that Square Enix has for announcements, Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII. I wouldn't be surprised if nobody shows up for their media briefing. If fans show up, fans are probably going to be showing up to see what kind of who they can throw crap at. It's like, okay, everyone, get your stuff ready to get your lunches and bottles ready to throw it at the people on the stage once they announce more bullcrap. I mean, seriously, Square Enix has disappointed a lot of people with their Final Fantasy VII announcement for PlayStation 4, which is more or less a direct port of the PC version. It's like, this isn't the crap we wanted. This is just some crap that you're saying just to try and shut people up. It's like, no, people aren't going to shut up about this, and you're just adding to the fire. On the plus side, Square Enix did release the Final Fantasy X 10-2 stuff on PlayStation 4. That's a bit of a plus that Square Enix has pulled off. I'm hoping that they actually have some very good, and to be honest, they gotta pull a lot of good shit to get a lot of people's attention at this E3. As far as I know, as far as Square Enix stuff that they could be talking at E3, it could be Kingdom Hearts 3, Final Fantasy 15, and maybe Final Fantasy 14, was it a Heaven's Ward? Yeah, they could be just, as far as I know, they could just be bringing up that stuff during the E3 press conference for Square Enix. We'll see how much of a disaster or if they'll actually pull off a miracle. Well, that does it for this episode of Action Video Game Talk. Once again, thanks for joining me today, or tonight, or whenever you're watching or listening to this episode. Later on, I will have the separate clips up if you want to check those out. Down below, I will have the link for the Facebook page, along with the actual email address if you want to send any emails there for comments, questions, and I think that's it. So, until next time, bye.